Hello, Jambo learners, welcome to today's lesson. For those who do not know what Jambo is a Swahili word which means hi. Now, in today's lesson, we are going to look at the two modes of thinking. Learning is all about thinking. Now, when we think in two modes. The first mode of thinking is the focused mode, and the second mode of thinking is the diffused mode. Now, these are the two modes of thinking which help us learn. First, we are going to look at the definition of these two modes of thinking. What do they mean? And I'm going to start with the diffused mode. The diffused mode is a free mode of thinking, when you think freely. In a broader perspective, when you think about so many things, and that this happens most of the time to us when you are seated, or when you are walking, when you are jogging, when you are taking a shower. Too many thoughts come into your mind, and you think about maybe studies, you think about work, you think about life, you think about so many other things which takes place in our day-to-day lives. Now, this is what is referred to as the diffused mode of thinking. It is not specific, it is broad, it is wide. Then the second mode of thinking is the focused mode. As the name suggests, it is when you focus, when you concentrate with what you are doing. Let's say you are studying, you go to a quiet place where there are no disruptions, you sit and you focus with your learning. Now, when you are in the focused mode of thinking, you are trying to concentrate and to grasp the material which you are trying to learn. Basically, these are the two modes of thinking. To understand more, we can use an analogy. We can relate these two modes of thinking to flashlight, the torch. The focused mode of thinking is like a bright flashlight which produces a concentrated beam of light which illuminates a specific place. It is like the laser light. It is concentrated and it goes to illuminate a specific place. Then we have the diffused mode of thinking. This is like a dim flashlight. It produces a wider beam and it focuses on a wider area. Therefore, the light is dim, not bright, but it covers a big area. And that's how our diffused mode of thinking works. You think in a broad perspective, you think of so many things. Therefore, you are not specific to one line of thought. Now, next, we are going to look at how do we use these two modes of thinking in our learning. The focused mode and the diffused mode of thinking. How do we use them in our learning? Now, when you are in either diffused or focused mode of thinking, you cannot be in the other mode of thinking. It is like a coin. A coin has two sides, the head and the tail. If you see the head, you cannot see the tail. And if you see the tail, you cannot see the head. And this is the same case with the modes of thinking. If you are using your diffused mode of thinking, you will not be using your focused mode. And if you are using your focused mode of thinking, you will not be using your diffused mode of thinking. That's how it works. Therefore, at any particular moment, you are either using the diffused mode of thinking or the focused mode of thinking. But can we use only one mode of thinking in our learning? The answer is no. We have to use the two modes of thinking alternatively. You start with the focused mode. When you are learning new material, you need to focus to get the basics. Then after you have acquired the basics, you now take a break. You go to the diffuse mode of thinking, and you try to digest and to establish connection about the material you have learned. Then you have to go back to focused mode again, so that you can get in-depth knowledge of the material you are trying to learn. After that, you go back to diffuse mode again, where you create the interdisciplinary connection between the material you have learned and other areas of studies, or between the material you have learned and the things which you learned previously. Therefore, you establish the connections, and the cycle repeats itself like that. Now, with the focused mode, it is obvious. When you want to be in focused mode, you have to look for a quiet place. It can be at your house, you go to a quiet room, or it can be at the library, or any place which does not have disturbance. You have to eliminate all the disturbances for you to be in the focused mode of thinking, so that you can concentrate with the material you are learning. But with the diffused mode of thinking, there are ways in which you can activate this mode of thinking. And one of the ways is when you go to take a shower. When you are taking shower, you tend to think about so many things which you are doing. Maybe you are learning something difficult. You go to a shower, you are relaxed, and you can try to get some connection, try to think about it, and eventually you may come up with the solution to that. Other ways in which you can activate your diffused mode of thinking are running, jogging, listening to music, driving, or just taking a walk, or when you are at the gym exercising. Now, in all these situations, you are relaxed, or even sleeping. When you go to sleep or when you take a nap, your brain goes to the diffused mode of thinking. And that is the reason why sometimes you hear people saying, you sleep on a problem. Sleeping on a problem means you are faced with a problem and you are stuck. You cannot progress. Therefore, what you do is you break, you relax, go to sleep, and in your sleep, you can dream about the solution to that problem. When you wake up, your mind is fresh, you can go back to the problem, and eventually you're going to get a breakthrough. You're going to get a solution to that problem. Last but not the least, I want to say that learning is a process. It is not an event. Learning is a lifelong process. For you to learn better, you have to learn bit by bit. Now, learning bit by bit is very important. It's like weightlifting. When you want to develop strong muscles, or when you want to develop those six packs, you cannot just go to a gym in a single day and spend the whole day there lifting the weights and expect that you're going to develop the muscles. Actually, what will happen is you are going to create more complications to yourself. Now, the best way to develop muscles, you have to go to the gym or to weight lift each and every day, bit by bit. With learning, it is the same. You have to learn bit by bit, slowly, every day. And at long last, you are going to acquire all the material which you are required to learn. Now, the last tip, which is the key to learning, or the trick to learning, as I have said, it is small portions of the material bit by bit. And that's how we learn well, and that's how you learn better. For those few remarks, thank you very much for listening. This is Teacher Ali with you. Meet you in our next lesson. Bye.